welcome to In the Cool of the Day, and today's segment, Keeping It Real, with Donna and David Burks. Today we have a very special show dealing with emergency preparedness. Our special guest has over 25 years of business management experience, is the CEO of Gemmis Technologies, and recently founded Patriot Training. Her community work includes serving as the volunteer lead for the Fairfax County Community Emergency Response Team, and also as a search and rescue technician with the Delmarva Search and Rescue, as an MET and adjunct instructor with Fairfax County Fire and Rescue, and she is the vice chair for the Fairfax County Citizens Corps Council. Missy has been a very busy lady, so please join me and welcome Missy to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited that you could be here today. And of course, the way that we met was that David and I decided to attend a CERT training back in the fall. And we enjoyed it. So, and CERT, of course, stands for
the Community Emergency Response Team.
And the one that we did was Fairfax County with Fairfax, but they are nationwide.
Yes,
correct?
It is a national program sponsored by FEMA.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about CERT. So how did CERT come to be?
CERT came to be about 30 years ago and actually started in California. The responders there found that the average citizen, when something bad happened, wanted to be able to help, but oftentimes they would put themselves in harm's way to help others. So they started this CERT program, and FEMA took a look at the program, saw its success, and then it's just grown from there. In Fairfax County, we've been around for about 13 years. I've been a part of the program for 5.
Wow, so a long time.
Yeah.
So tell me, when FEMA started this, it started in California, and how long has it been in Fairfax County, do you know?
It's been here for 13 years.
For 13, okay.
And so far, we've trained almost 3,000 residents.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. And so tell us a little bit about the classes. Because I mean, I could tell you guys, but Missy can say it so much better. So tell us about the classes. What goes on in the classes, and what are the key topics and concepts that are taught?
Well, the basic goal is for neighbors to help neighbors. When something bad happens, whether it's a snowstorm or something truly catastrophic like a tornado, the goal is for you to take care of yourself first, then your family, and then if you're able to go and do good for others as well. In the CERT training, we offer everything from light search and rescue, small fire suppression, disaster psychology, a few classes like that, and the goal is to make you feel comfortable making decisions, not putting yourself in harm's way, but also, when able to do so, to help others.
Exactly. So David, what was one of the things that you found that you liked best about the CERT training?
Well, the number one thing is when a disaster happens, you want to go and you just want to help and jump in. The class really was to make sure that everything is in working condition to where your life is the important one. Don't put your life in danger to help somebody, but you need to assess the area. And there was a lot of things that were involved in that, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is absolutely key. You want to make sure that you don't become a part of the problem.
Yes.
And oftentimes, just by being that calm in the storm and saying, to a group of folks that have been injured, if you can hear me, come to the sound of my voice.
Yes.
Or again, just being that calm in the storm when something bad happens, and doing what you're able to do and not putting yourself in harm's way and becoming a part of the problem.
Exactly. I know I enjoyed the part that it was actually hands-on, and that you've got to learn. So it's not just sitting there going through lecture, but every time it's like, put on your gear, because now we have to demonstrate.
Yes.
And able to go through, because you're nervous about that. And the thing is, even after you go through the training, is we got to keep up the skill set. Right,
yes.
So it's a lot of hands-on, and we learn a lot, and you actually get to go through rescuing some people. So that was nice.
That was an experience.
Yeah, because we participated in a different class's exam, I guess, in a sense, over at the fire and rescue.
Yeah, we offer classes out in the community, the one that you took, and we also offer classes at the Fire and Rescue Academy. The curriculum is both for the same, but because at the Fire and Rescue Academy we have a few more toys to play with, by that I mean disaster buildings, things like that, the experience is a little bit different, but our goal is to make sure that every student walks away feeling comfortable, being prepared. We do give them a few tools that I'm sure we'll talk about, but it really is just feeling comfortable knowing what you're able to do, and also knowing that, you know, it's okay to call 911 when something happens, and you can help until first responders get there.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people don't think about that. So like in the snowstorms, was that last year, I think it was, that you had neighborhoods that it took a week for people to actually get through and plow through the neighborhoods. And if there would have been some type of other emergencies in that neighborhood, having a CERT member in that community could have made a difference, especially, I mean, if trees fell and other things happen.
Yeah, well, during that snowstorm, we had many of our CERTs very active. One of the simplest things that they did that was incredibly valuable was digging out fire hydrants in their neighborhood. So when an emergency happened, Fire and Rescue were able to access the things that they needed. In addition to that, we have a 4x4 registry. So when a snowstorm happens, we have folks that are able to go and transport emergency personnel, doctors, people that need to get to dialysis, nurses, folks like that. They can get to and from where they need to be. And we had over 40 CERTs help during the last snowstorm.
Oh, wow. That's really good. And you know, the thing that I was impressed with too is once you go through the class, you get a lot of notifications about other classes. So ham radios, being able to take a class and actually get certified in a weekend. I just saw one for pet CPR.
Yes.
So you could do regular CPR, and we get to do it for free, correct? Because we're CERT members. And then they have pet CPR, and then there's a multitude of other classes.
Some amazing classes coming up. We've got a basic MAPS class coming up at the end of February. We've got CPR and first aid that we offer free to our CERTs.
Okay.
So, so many things.
And it's organization skills too, because again, when we went through the training, we had to rotate different stations. So you don't think about that. You know, having to set up a logistical site in your neighborhood should you need to. The command staff, how are you going to track all this activity and that you can communicate it back to the first responders in a way that it's, you know, it's good information.
Right.
And so just not all over the place. So we had logistics, we had the command site, we had medical.
Probably medical.
We had medical, so you know how to triage a patient. And you know, that was interesting too. I mean, that's great to be able to walk up to somebody and be able to do a quick triage. And
to be able to treat those life threats during a really bad situation is absolutely critical. And the skills aren't that hard to learn. Again, you know, we've trained over 3,000 people, and our goal is to train more.
Yeah, it's very valuable training, which is one reason I wanted to bring you on here and to make sure that we can get the word out to the community, because everybody, I think, you know, there should think about if we could have at least one CERT team in every neighborhood, the difference that could make, especially when you have a major event where you had to pull in a bunch of CERTs to help out with that.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be as simple as a snowstorm. And if you're stuck in your neighborhood, if you know who your neighbors are, which neighbors have special needs, you're able to communicate effectively, you're able to help each other out, and that's really what our program is about, neighbors helping neighbors. It's not so much waiting for the next big disaster to happen. In our area, we're very fortunate that we're resource rich, and you know, we've got so many wonderful agencies that are able to take care of many of those needs for us. The likely need is probably going to be in our neighborhood with our neighbors, or at our work location, or at our place of worship, those places that we gather. And that's where we want to offer the training. So we're glad to do trainings at community centers, with churches, with corporations, wherever in Fairfax County we find 12 or more people that are interested in learning the program, we're happy to teach it. And of course at the Fire and Rescue Academy.
And now that is, That is great that Fairfax is willing to reach out and to do that and provide those resources. But I think folks need to realize too that if you live in a different county but you work in Fairfax, that you can also participate in the Fairfax classes as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that part is nice. And then the other piece was, the other question I wanted to ask you is certs used outside of Fairfax. Have you had volunteers that have gone outside of Fairfax to help in other communities during times of need?
We have, and that's usually on a personal relationship basis, and I'll just use myself as an example. When I took the CERT program here in Fairfax, I participated in the first National Capital Region CERT convention that we had, and that was several years ago. I had the opportunity to meet folks from Prince George's County, and I trained with their team. When they did a call out, I was on their roster, so they reached out to me as well.
Okay.
But we do have great relationships within Fairfax County with the other jurisdictions. So our goal is to train together, get to know each other's capabilities, get to know each other's strengths, so that we can really expand on that if we're ever called and needed to help each other out.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about the event that will be coming up, the big training event that happens once or twice a year in Fairfax.
Are you referring to Lorton?
Yes, the Lorton Prison.
Oh, yeah. We all go to prison for the day. It's really a lot of fun. We have the benefit of using the USAR team's training site at Lorton. Virginia Task Force 1 trains there, and we're privileged to be able to take victim actors who dress up, we call it moulage, where they put on disaster-style makeup. We'll place them throughout several of the buildings there. Our certs arrive, and we have them respond as if they're responding to a disaster in their neighborhood. And that helps with so many things. It refreshes your skills with search and rescue. It refreshes your skills with command and accountability, making sure that you're taking care of the people that you're working with first. You don't put yourself in harm's way, you don't put your teammate in harm's way, and then you focus on doing the greatest good for the greatest number. And we offer that training twice a year at Lorton. So if you've been CERT trained, we would encourage you to come out and join us there. It is a lot of fun. And you can do it year after year after year and learn new things every time, because the skills that you might have expanded upon, I might not know, so we learn from each other every time we do something.
And I would tell you, when you were talking about the moulage, that makes a big difference, because when we were training over in McLean, we were at the fire department, but when we did it at the fire and rescue, and the individuals actually had on the makeup and the wounds, and I mean, it's very realistic, some of the makeup that they have on there, so it brings a different level of experience to that
Yes,
event.
absolutely, and that's really the point. Our goal is to get the students to understand that you've got to treat the person, not the symptom that you see. So when you have somebody that has that theatrical makeup on and they're screaming and crying and looking for help, you just need to remember to focus on the real problem at hand.
Exactly.
And practice helps.
Exactly. Well, we are going to take a short break, but we'll be back right after these announcements, and we'll get into looking at all these goodies that you see in front of us. Okay? We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Keeping It Real with Donna and David Burks. Today we are talking emergency preparedness and how citizens can receive free training to become part of the Fairfax County Community Emergency Response Team, which is also known as CERT. So right before the show, but right before the break, we were talking about some of the classes, some of the training that went on. But now we're going to go into a different segment. I think David had a couple questions he wanted to get in here. I've been hogging it.
Well, since we did the class and there was trainers there, how do we become a trainer? And who are the trainers?
Well, we have an amazing group of trainers, both adjuncts at the Fire and Rescue Academy that are part of Fire and Rescue, and community instructors. And our community instructors are just a wealth of information. They come from all different walks of life. In order to become a trainer, first you take the program, and we've got a deck of information that you follow, and you help out at several classes. Some of our instructors have also taken a Train the Trainer class with FEMA up at Emmitsburg.
Wow.
So there's a lot of great training involved, but we could not deliver the classes that we do without our volunteer instructors. That gives us the ability to teach the classes out in the community. We've hosted some on Fort Belvoir. We've worked with corporations, churches, and homeowners associations all in the community because of our volunteer instructors.
Now, I noticed there was a class also for 18-year-olds. I thought, oh no, you have to be 18 to be in CERT, but I thought I saw that there was one for younger, a specific class for younger individuals.
We are offering again this year at one of the public schools a CERT program for students that are located at that academy.
Okay.
So we do offer the Teen CERT there, and many other jurisdictions in the area also have a Teen CERT program.
Okay. Very good.
So as a family, what do we need to be prepared for?
Well, it could be anything from being
Big
stuck in
question.
traffic and running out of gas, making sure that you have what you need, to having to shelter in place in your office at work because something has happened there. The mindset that we would like for our CERTs and for the community at large to have is really to just be prepared. If you're at home, we encourage folks to have a 72-hour kit so that everything that they need is there to sustain for 72 hours. From food, water, medication, to the same thing for your pets, children, just everybody. We want to make sure that you're prepared at home. But again, if you're traveling, if you're in your car, you're on your commute, being able to have things there that will keep you comfortable should you get stuck in a snowstorm, be stuck in traffic for a long period of time, and at work as well.
Or actually maybe come upon an accident or somebody else that's stranded, right? Maybe you need to stop and offer some of that assistance.
Yes.
Yeah, and so speaking of, can we hit on that some Good Samaritan law? Because I know that
yes.
came up in class a lot about, well, what happens if I try to help somebody? Are they going to sue me?
If you stay within the scope of your training and you receive no compensation for the work that you've done, then you should be fine. The goal, though, is really to stay. The key is to stay within the scope of your training. So if you've been trained with CPR and first aid and you stay within that realm when you're offering assistance, you're great.
Okay.
But, the freelancing is where people find themselves in trouble. We're happy to offer those free CPR and first aid classes for folks. And in our CERT training, we do a lot of medical training as well.
Okay. Okay.
So how can an individual sign up?
If someone is interested in signing up for the CERT program or learning just a little bit more about it, they can go to fairfaxcountyscert.org.
Okay. And then that information would also be, for those out in the audience, you'll see that also displayed across the screen. So you'll be able to get back in contact with Missy. Worst case scenario, you can always reach out to David and I. We have a Facebook that's ICOD, in the Cool of the Day Facebook. So you can always reach us and we'll make sure you get in touch with Missy as well.
And if you're viewing from another area in the National Capital Region, we can certainly put you in contact with the program leads for those areas. And the FEMA.gov website will also point folks to the CERT programs in their jurisdictions.
Okay. And speaking of FEMA, there's also additional training that you can do for free out on the FEMA website, correct?
They have some amazing courses. Yeah. They have some amazing courses. Everything from learning what a disaster is to communicating in disasters. And we encourage our folks to take several of those trainings, because the more you understand and the better you can communicate during a disaster, the more effective it is for everyone.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, let's take a look at what's in our bag. So these are some of the basics, and then we also, or you can see over here on this side, we have a few other add-ons that you can put in, because it's your bag, right? And you can continue to improve it to make it what you need to be. But go ahead and explain what, and by the way, guys, this is free. So when you sign sign up for the class, which is free, and then when you get to the class, you get this starter bag, which again has no cost associated with it as well. So
Yes, did you mention that it's free?
I did. It's
That's
free.
F-R-E-E free. Yes, absolutely.
It's free. It's got the great price of free.
Yeah,
That's free.
the training that we offer and the basic starter kit that people get is free. And so a student, when they come to the class, would get the backpack. Included in the backpack, we have some personal protective equipment. We have a helmet with a headlamp, because the goal is to keep your hands free so that you can do good work. We've got eye protection here, a high visibility vest that brands you as a community emergency response team member. We've got some knee pads here, a whistle, and duct tape comes with your pack, and Sharpie. So David, can you tell me, you know, I'm sure you've been through the class, so you know how much we love duct tape in our Sharpies. What was the most useful tool that you found the duct tape and the Sharpie for?
Well, the duct tape and the Sharpie is to identify what type of situation the person is in. And you can write that on there, and you also have that on your leg or somewhere on you to bring that information back to the headquarters part, so they can exactly know who is where and what condition they're in.
Yes, absolutely. This is part of our triage kit. And I think on your backpack I saw different colored tapes. In disasters, we sort our patients with the most critical need down to what we refer to as our walking wounded. But because CERTs have limited resources and limited space to carry things, we use our duct tape and our Sharpie just like you described, that we use it to tag folks with those different color codes so that we know who's the worst hurt and how to treat them effectively.
And you've actually went on the road. You took your show on the road, right? With
Yes.
cardboard and Sharpies, or duct tape and Sharpies?
Yes. Anita, my counterpart, and I teach a class on duct tape triage, and it's just really reviewing how a few simple tools can go a long way, and how thinking outside of the box and not using things traditionally can help you get through so many things. And these are just two of the tools. But as you mentioned, each CERT should customize their pack, because your skill set might be different than mine, and what you carry would be very different than me. So let's go over a few things that you brought.
Well, as you guys told us in class, we need to have some additional cloths cut up. You can make either a sling out of some of this, or you can wrap it, and then of course you would cover it with duct tape. So we have different sizes and different shapes.
Lots of
for
bandaging
triaging.
material.
Yeah,
Awesome.
bandaging material.
Awesome.
We actually picked up this at the dollar store, and this was with earplugs, some safety pins, rubber bands, just in case you need something, because it was, you know, and a lighter. We threw that in there, and of course the scissors to be able to cut your bandages, etc. And then other than that, it's just some, you know, ointment and some other little
And a first aid kit as
yeah,
well.
a little first aid kit, and then a different mask. So they do have, because the initial mask that comes with that does get a little hot, so that we do have the other mask that we picked up. But that was just a few of the things that we put in it. And I noticed you had, which we did not have that with ours, so you have this nice little tool. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, it's a 4-in-1 tool, and the tool can be used to shut off your gas, shut off your water, to dig, or to, you know, to open a door. It's a great tool because it's non-sparking, and if you find yourself in a situation where you've got to shut off the gas or water, you know, you need to wait for the professionals to come and turn those utilities back on. But in an emergency, having a non-sparking tool, knowing where your utilities are to shut them off, is really important. So this is something that we recommend as an add-on.
And you could use that to break your window in your car too, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And when I was talking with you earlier about your pack, I was excited to hear that you keep your pack in your car.
Yep.
Right.
There is no one best place. I say one best place to keep gear. It's okay to have things at your place of work, things in your vehicle, and things at home. It really depends on where you are, what you're doing, but the goal is to be safe.
Exactly.
And some simple things that I would recommend keeping. I always carry a flashlight with me. I keep it in my purse. I always carry a Sharpie. I usually have even one of those little tiny rolls of duct tape. They're just so handy. And I keep a lot of things in my car as well because I do travel a lot for work, and having those things gives me a little bit of sense of comfort. And there's been more than one opportunity that I've had to pull those things out and use them.
Speaking of little rolls of duct tapes, so for Christmas, we always try to give the kids, we have 6 adult children, so we try to give the kids practical gifts, right? So this year, we made sure that we gave them little rolls of duct tape, and we
Yes.
gave them flashlights, Sharpies.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it was, there was, what
The
else
whole
did
bag
we give
we
them?
put together.
Yeah, we put together like,
they put in the car.
a blanket, like the little fleece blanket to go in
Right.
their backpack, and then we had ordered them the little bolts, like the halo bolts that you could either use it to jumpstart your car, or it has an AC plug that you could plug a lamp into if the power's out at home. So you could use it too. So we also put that in there
And a
as an
thermo
extra
blanket
gift.
thing.
That was the fleece blanket, yeah.
No, the other.
Oh yeah, and the thermal blanket to keep you in case you were trapped and
Yes.
it's cold out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I forgot about that. So we tried to put together like a mini bag for them to at least, and I know they're like, oh great, here they go giving us more practical stuff. But
That's
it's
wonderful.
important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after we did the class, we were like, that's true. The kids need to make sure they at least have this, and we told them you need to keep a couple bottles of water with it in your car because again, you never know if you're going to break down somewhere, you come upon somebody, you need it, and I
Right.
figure if it's in the car wherever I am, it's at.
Yeah.
So usually.
Absolutely, and even keeping your items in a gym bag with a few extra nutrition bars or something
Yep.
like that. So if you're ever stranded, you really have everything you need right there to sustain for 24 hours at least.
Exactly. Yeah, we actually did have some of that water that was for emergency water, but then we realized it was expired. It's like we checked the date. Oops, we've been saving it a bit too long. So, any last minute words for the audience before we wrap up?
I would just encourage you to check out our website, fairfaxcountysturt.org. The training that we offer is free. It's to help you really be safe when something happens. And our goal is to train as many people that are willing to be trained.
Well, thank you, and thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me.
thank you
you.
so much.
Well, our time is up, and we hope that you enjoyed today's show, and we will sincerely, and that you will sincerely think about how you can make a difference in your neighborhood and your surrounding area. I can't stress enough the importance of CERT training and being prepared to help yourself or your fellow neighbors should first responders not be immediately available. Okay, so please review the preparedness emergency list and make sure you have an emergency bag in your home, in your car, because you never know when it could help you save someone's life. We encourage you to get in contact with Missy or visit the CERT website to get enough information about the upcoming CERT courses. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. And as always, feel free to reach out to David and I with any questions or comments, okay? You can always message us on our Facebook, but have a blessed week, and remember, until we see you next time, keep it real.